Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another stream. I will say this now, I have not been this consistent in a very long time. My hair looks slightly different because I took a shower, and I was very happy about yesterday. Yesterday, I got to collaborate with a very wonderful, smaller streamer, Ghosty Boy Live. They are amazing. They're wonderful. They were just so perfect to talk to yesterday. I had a great time. And I'm very grateful that we're all here today to just kind of sit down, talk a second, bring up all the updates I brought up in basically in my video, like just basically everything I could do while I was here, as well as, just for you guys. And I'm very glad that everything went the way it was going to. I usually tweet about it on Twitter. I just put it in the chat for you guys to check it out. But yeah, welcome back to a stream. It is 12 p.m. I went a little earlier than I expected because one, I get excited, and two, I have other things to do at different times. So I'm trying to hype everything up as we go. I also made sure to put all these updates in like any form of social media. So if you guys ever want to go check me out, I am linking them in the chat right now for you guys. They're also linked to the About Me below. So, everybody can see them. So yeah, but come along, come check out what we're doing, as today is going to be just kind of me bringing up a little bit of the reflection about yesterday and just what happened in general for anybody who wasn't here. So to be quite frank, yesterday was a beautiful collaboration stream. I brought on Ghosty Boy Live. It was a very much mutualized collab. It was very beautiful. We got into a lot of talking about different things. Actually, the VOD is on YouTube right now. If you want to go check it out, I linked it in my Twitter tweet like last night, as well as I'm about to link it for you guys in chat right now. And yeah, we're just riding the wave of beautiful things that we can keep up with. But yeah, if you guys want to go check it out, it's there on YouTube, as well as on Twitch for the time being. But pretty much we talked a lot about different things like autism, as well as music and other fun medical injuries that we've all had, like both of us. They're an amazing person. He was great to talk to, and I definitely hope that in the future we can get more collaborations, both with him and other streamers out there who are willing to collab with me. I am very, very happy about it. And honestly, yesterday was great. It was a great introduction. It was a very happy, very, very professional stream. Like, I've never been more happy about it. But I announced to him a lot of things that I was announcing to you guys, how I'm also in the middle of creating different projects. I am creating a video for a fandom-based kind of thing, like I always did. But I am also in the middle of building a Discord community for you guys, so that if you guys want, you can come in, join, and be in the community, and you guys will also probably get really good updates about when we stream next, as well as, a lot of other fun updates and fun events. And I'm also in the middle of creating a kind of web series ARG. That's what I was talking about yesterday with them. I did not give away the name. The project is still in the works. I am still in the middle of all the technical things I need to do, and honestly, I'm excited. I'm excited for you guys because this is going to be a great opportunity both for me, but for you guys to get really fun content. And I already gave hints about different things that were in there. So, for example, the name of the character we're going to be following throughout this ARG and web series, as well as the person who's creating the blog, per se, and what they update with. So, keep those in mind, guys. They're all in the works. They're all still being made, and I am just doing my best to take my time and build what I can for you guys and make it available for you. But yeah, besides all that, that was really fun, and I enjoyed talking to Ghosty Boy. I will say the best part about that conversation not only came from like the open honesty about everything, it just kind of came all with the greatness of being able to talk to somebody not just brand new, but someone who understood where I was coming from, as well as getting the chance to really utilize a lot of things. And yes, as you can tell, we're also using the newer camera instead of the old one, more because yesterday I was kind of rushing. That's why I didn't have that camera. But also, I didn't mind. It was kind of like easier for me to do a collaboration with the camera that I had either way. But yeah, now that we got a lot of that out of the way, he was just an amazing person. I hope next time I could do more. I know tomorrow's stream will also be a collaboration, but with someone a little more personal in my life who's not really on the platform. My friend Jade and that's the biggest thing I'm going to tell you guys now. It's another collaboration tomorrow, but if things change, then we are probably going to be not playing the cupcake game, but we're going to be doing something completely different from that. So, yeah, I'm excited. I cannot wait for you guys to see what we're playing today, as it is it's a fun game. We've played it in the past. It's one of those games where I can keep my mind off of certain things, and it's awesome. Ooh, let me. I forget half the time when like I have music on for different games and how it gets when you have to share it. Like, let's go. We get to play the cupcake game today. So, woohoo! Let's get on to the game and proceed. All right. Oh god. I'm making the music kind of low for both you and me because I already know it is loud. We are at rank 14. Is our lobby done yet? It's been way too long since I played. It's decent. It could be better. It could be so much better, honestly. And I think based off of the tips we make. Don't get me wrong, I have everything set up. It's just like my one thing is blocking everything else, so then it's like really fun. Alright. But like, as we're here, I'm gonna quickly update a certain part of the stream, so let's try and do this. Taking orders, ba da 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 da. Alright, I know her orders, Miss Zoe. As I'm doing this, let's get. Because here's the thing, this game is one of those where if you don't pay attention, you're gonna lose everything. But yeah, yesterday was fun. And I love it. There we go. I updated the stream a bit. I forgot there's another person. I heard that too, and that's what makes it worse. Also, for many of you who don't know, I changed out my headphones again. Don't get me wrong, it's not that I can't use the new ones I have. They're like earbuds, but you know, I'm grateful my brother gave me these, and it helps me hear everything that I need to hear. And also, being autistic, I need headphones that I can also take with me places where I never thought I would have to. So yeah, it tends to be a very different thing. So yeah, like I'm just existing. All right, let's change out the tickets for the first one because that's almost done. But yeah, yesterday was actually pretty good. I was very happy to not only meet someone brand new, but to also have a friend I met through another social media platform. I just feel bad for the fact that I was talking so much. Like, I feel like I take over conversation way too easily. And then I'm like, wait, I don't leave room for anybody to open up. So I felt really bad because, like, we both kind of didn't really interact with you guys as a chat. But yeah, no, I honestly think it was more because I was too focused on the fact that I was talking to someone completely new. And this was, like, kind of our first stream together as people. So it was very, very, like, simple, very easy on the fact that I kind of just, like, what the, okay, I can't let go of this, can I? No, I gotta be fast. Oh gosh. Oh no, I found, okay, woohoo, found a fun conundrum. Now this person's really gonna have to wait and see what the hell happens next. Ooh. Yeah, no, but it was the first time, and I remember when I watched it back, because sometimes I watch the VODs back, I just felt bad. I was like, oh no, I talked a lot, and they didn't mind, and I'm very grateful that he didn't really mind that much. It just made me upset as a person, because in general, I don't like to feel like I'm taking up conversation. So, yeah, but I'm very grateful that we had a good stream. I was very happy to have a collaboration with anybody. That was a very nice thing, both for them and for me, especially because they have a bigger following than I do, and he is very well known in the Minecraft community. I love that he has so much going on as well. like I said, if you guys want to check out the VOD and just yesterday's stream, go ahead. It is still up on here. And honestly, I cannot wait for every project that I am working on. I cannot wait for everything to start coming out for you guys. Like, it is a blessing. Like, I honestly am very grateful for you guys as an audience and as people as we go. Okay, I gotta be faster at this because now I'm just talking my butt off. And and also the medical stories that me and Ghosty both told were very true, very to the heart, really tongue-in-cheek kind of stories. So there was no avoiding anything. It was just like, hey, look, this actually happened. Here we are, true medical stuff. But yeah, no, I wouldn't say anything like terrible about it. It was a very very quick, very niche thing. And I'm grateful that we get to kind of sit here, play the cupcake game. And I will say, for any of you who are like, this is just an excuse to talk, I'm like, it kind of is. But like, hey, it's a good excuse to talk because I'm calm enough where I'm not freaking out over it. Because I'll say this now. Before I went on stream with Ghosty, I actually was so nervous. And, you know, if I even put this clip on TikTok, which I most likely will, I am most likely going to just not crap myself, but I'm going to basically like, it's gonna be there. They're gonna see it. It's not new. But like, I was very anxious to stream with them, mainly because, like I said, he has a bigger following than I do, and the audience is very different. So it's kind of like running into a blind spot and not knowing what's gonna come out of it. And honestly, I don't hate it. I think it's like the greatest thing about streaming. It's like you can collaborate with people who are within the same, not region, because we're in the US, we're not in the same region in the US, but somebody who understands the struggles you're going through as a smaller streamer. Like, I like that it's not just me. It is more than that. And I'm hopeful that, you know, I can get more, not just more collaborations and connections. I do hope I gain friends out of it. And I like that I'm gaining a friend like Ghosty. And I like that the stream was great. But honestly, it was so nerve-wracking before. I was so nervous. We were talking through Discord. We're like, what are we going to do? Oh my gosh. And like, we were figuring things out. And I think I liked the way stream turned out anyway. I like that it wasn't just like us jumping into something and having complications. It was like, hey, we're both talking very openly, very freely. And this was the first time we were meeting and actually talking in person. So very different than what anyone would have expected me to say, I think. But I liked it. It was a very good collab. I hope in the future there's honestly more collabs with different creators. And I hope that we can also like stream something that isn't just us talking. But I think one of the things I liked the most about it was that it wasn't uncomfortable talking to that person either. Like, it was very much this thing about, I'm comfortable. I hope you're comfortable. I know things are going on for the both of us. Like, we both have our individual lives. But I'm also hoping, I'm going to get a low score today. I'm just thinking about this now. But I don't care. I'm talking about good stuff with you guys. But, like, you know, I was very comfortable. I liked that the format of it. And I'm saying this both as I was speaking to them, and I think they agreed with me when I brought it up in the beginning, was how the way I was speaking was very much like a professional person speaking on a podcast. And, I mean, it doesn't help that the headset I have and the microphone I have kind of make it look like that with the setup. But I think it was just from being comfortable and me also trying to be professional. And then as we slowly continued talking, you got to see more of me getting comfortable. Now, I will say the TikTok thing at the end, I can understand what could cause a lot of issues with that. And the reason for it is more because when I was telling them, and if you guys saw stream yesterday, I brought up a certain TikTok that talked about something that is a little inappropriate if you're 13, but if you're 16, you probably understand what I'm talking about. And it just had to do with something that normally I do not bring up on streams, and I don't tend to care to. But it definitely was one of those topics and an understanding that what I was talking about might have been hurting someone else. And I will say right now, do as I say, not as I do. And when I was telling them in the context of that TikTok was pretty much, and also saying now as a quick disclosure, please don't ever make TikToks about people in private and then show it on stream. Don't do that. I will say I did not get in trouble by said person because, one, I don't think they know I'm doing this, and two, it is not something that is great on you. I'll say that now. Just don't ever do it. But the purpose of why I was showing that person was more out of, oops, I gave them extra chocolate chips. Oh well. Was more because I was saying that's a private TikTok I'll never be able to recreate. There are a few TikToks I won't be able to recreate because of both, not just the legality of everything, but because of just who they're talking about in my actual personal life. And I'm grateful that the video, even when I said it, like, I don't confirm if the names are truly, like, changed or not, mainly because, one, most of you have no idea who these people are, and two, regardless, even if they did see it, it's still not right. So I probably will never do that again. But I definitely will keep in mind of talking about those kind of things without having to show it in such a public way. So that's just a disclosure for this time. But other times I just, oh crud, I love how I failed the minigame. But yeah, basically just understanding that in every other hindsight. That plate's gonna just break regardless. Love that. Oh my goodness. But yeah, basically, stream was fine. Let's see what I can get from the shop now that I'm actually, like, getting into decor-wise. We have the, can't get the pot of gold, can't get the arcade, we have the mint gum. I mean, do we need anything else? Wait, what's the next holiday? Easter. I should probably start stocking up for Easter, because I think that was our issue last time, that I did not stock up for Easter. Alright, so let's go back to decor, get Easter stuff, and then we can slowly get other upgrades as we go, so. Alright, perfect. And then keep that there so that when Easter pops up, we can just have it. Alright, that sounds like a plan. But yeah, no, but yesterday's stream was just nerve-wracking for me. Like, I was very much like, whoa. Oh, Doan? What the heck? Who names a person Doan? Violet Frosting, okay. Yeah, makes sense. Also, I've played this game before, and on my phone, I'm much farther. Like, I'm all the way out to Halloween, Thanksgiving kind of area. So I know how to play. But yeah, no, but pretty much, what the? Did they glitch his hair? That's a first, okay. But, okay. That's a new thing, also. But yeah, basically, everything about stream yesterday was great, but nerve-wracking. It was just that. And I'm not mad. I keep saying I'm not mad. I don't know why I keep saying that, but it's a habit. But I loved it. I loved it very much. I'm so excited. And I think that's what makes, hopefully tomorrow, very great. Because I'm also just going to do a collaboration stream with my friend. But also, you know, like I said, there could be a change in plans. So if things do change, you know, they change. But pretty much, it means I'm not going to be home. I'm not going to be here. You're going to see me in a completely different place. And we're just going to go with it. We're going to go with what happens, what goes on tomorrow. You know, it's fun. It gets to be fun. Because even outside of stream, it's going to be a very fun thing for me. It's going to be fun for them. And, you know, you're going to see my friend Jade for the first time. But yeah, this is going to be really awesome. And I am definitely excited for what is to come outside of it. And I know I'm repeating myself, but that just tells you a lot because it means I was really excited about everything. It means that I got a very good impression, both from Ghosty and just from how everything went. So it's just amazing and going up. I know I need to pull out that cupcake. It's going to burn. Oh no, don't burn. Okay. Oh, goodness. Also, if you noticed, I did change the stream info a little bit just so we could correspond to the game, because I hate how my setup does it, because it's kind of like, oh, yeah, but, like, it needs to be these, like, 4 odd, like, things, and I'm like, but that's not realistic to what Twitch does. So I was just like, whatever. I change it up a little once we get into the game. So that's just how it is right now. But yeah, I basically had a really good time yesterday, and I loved it. I would definitely do that kind of a stream again, especially with Ghosty, and hopefully with others. Like, I love that. And also, just to hint at you guys, I did question if I ever wanted to do a podcast at one point in my lifetime, especially because, like, I entered college, and I remember just kind of having my quarter-life crisis. I brought this up a little bit yesterday, but I basically went through the whole run of, oh my god, I'm autistic, blah. And, and just kind of, as I was realizing it, I kind of started to not enter the world of podcasts. I just kind of started listening to podcasts more, and also, like, don't get me wrong, podcasts are pretty good. I'm just don't listen to them as often. But when I do listen to a podcast, I actually listen to the whole episode. Like, I don't care. I'll sit there, watch the video that they made with it, so that people who wanted to watch it from YouTube, could do that. And that was kind of my whole direction with listening to podcasts in the first place. Like, that was my biggest thing. So I basically kind of tried to convince a few friends to do a podcast with me. Never went through. And, there were these apps, and I did make an episode of a podcast. It's just, you'll never find it. It's just really stupid. It's kind of crappy. And it has a very generic looking cover. It's actually also why I have a design app, because my design app, basically, like, I can design how the cover looks and stuff. But it's not that I wouldn't do it again. It's just that I don't think that, not that I don't think I could do it by myself. I think I could. But I feel like if I were to get into a podcast, I'd have to be very, not just technical, but, like, I'd have to be very on with what was going down in the podcast. I think I'd have to really, like, there's so much of it that I have no idea what I would be doing with it. And also, I wouldn't know what else to talk about for, like, an hour. But as I'm doing live streaming, I realize I can kind of already do that, in a sense. I don't know. I feel like doing this is giving me some confidence in just whatever possibility lies ahead. So, it's never like the road is ending, this is what's going to happen kind of feeling. It's more like oh, okay, I can do this. I just need to not only build up the confidence for it, but also really think about what I want to talk about if I were to do one. I'm just throwing the idea out there. And I definitely could see me doing that in the future. Like, there definitely is a part of me that goes, hey, I could do this with somebody in the future. And just continue it with, I don't know about, why did my mouse do that? Okay. With some grace to it. But yeah, it's one of those things that I definitely don't not think about, but it's definitely something that's on my mind. Like, it's definitely one of those things where if I told you, hey, I'm making a podcast, I wouldn't be upset about it. I think I'd be very open to, I'm doing really poor on these days. What the hell? It's been so long. But, like, basically, I don't think I would not do it. I just think right now, I don't have a big enough audience of you guys. I don't know how you would feel if I ever did do a podcast, if I ever really sat down and talked to people, like other fellow streamers or whatnot. There's so much that you can do, and yet so little at the same time. And it's not to say that people who do podcasts can't do it. They can, like 100%. I think there are really good people who, when they do a podcast or when they do any kind of interview like that, it gets very interesting. But it's also like all this research, it's all this time, and I enjoy it. I like doing this. This is kind of fun. Gives me a time to, like, really play video games, get real with you, and just continue doing what I just just love doing involving content creation. Because that's another thing I got into with Ghosty yesterday. I was talking about how, for me, it's more like firsthand live streaming, but secondhand content creation. And when I say secondhand, I mean like it's not the first time I've created content. Like I've definitely been that creative brain who really had to question myself and go, am I doing this for purposes involving money? Or am I doing this because I actually like it? And that's been a constant road of, do I actually like creating content? And having to really look into myself and go, yeah, I do. I love creating content. It is, I think, one of the more satisfying things, and it makes it very fun when you're doing it on a platform where you can honestly get the highest of views or the lowest of views. And if you're somebody who doesn't mind or care about the numbers like that, or has learned to kind of not objectively look at numbers that way, because here's another problem with creating content. It's you start getting fixated on numbers. And when you learn to not fixate on the numbers, it makes you not just so much happier, but it also makes you question if you should care about them as well. Because, like, I know when I was younger, that was definitely something I cared about way too much. And being only 21, I'm coming from a place of having to realize this. And I'm going to link TikTok for you guys in chat. But it definitely was something that I had to really, like, look at and go, okay, do I care that much about, the numbers that are coming out from this or whatnot? And for me, realistically, I kind of was like, I'm doing this more because I want to. I'm making content based off of trends I like, and that's how it kind of started. I also started making content based off of a lot of things that I didn't, not necessarily know, but basically I went down a form of comedy that I never thought I'd be handling. And when I did, I kind of started realizing what's funny and what's not funny. And I'm saying this both as somebody who is talking from experience in not even just being autistic, but just coming from a place of, I never found myself funny. I always thought that I was a little too serious for people. And a lot of times, like, deadpan humor isn't a very comfortable thing for people. Like, not everybody likes somebody who's deadpan. I get the appeal, though. And it's definitely something that makes me, not just excited, but like, oh, I'm not decorated in the lobby yet. Oops. But it definitely makes me go into this kind of line of work in some way with a different heart and a different way of viewing everything. Because don't get me wrong, I am very grateful that I even have an audience like you guys who, even if it's just two of you, at least you're willing to watch. And I'm very grateful for that. And I don't always have to focus on numbers like that. I don't. And I definitely get why people focus on it, because they also are hoping that, just like you and I, that their content at least brightens someone's day, or at least makes somebody feel seen, or makes them laugh, and things like that. And I like that there are also creators out there who are willing to make that their mission. But definitely when it comes to numbers, it gets very in your head, especially when you're so young and doing this. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm young. I may not be as young as some of the 19-year-olds or 18-year-olds or even 14-year-olds who are creating content, and anyone who may be younger. But I definitely do see why people get fixated on it, and especially see if you're already seeing growth, why you get excited but get so derailed by it as well. Like, something I think I brought up yesterday was how TikTok is kind of a clusterfuck of I love and hate you kind of feel, mainly because you can kind of get both of people who are on there for good reasons and then people who are on there for the worst reasons possible. And honestly, for me, I go on TikTok more for my own pleasure and for my own entertainment, which is why if you don't see me post as often, it's not because I don't want to. It's more because at that point, I'm not in the mood to create anything. And nothing has like gone through my brain to go, that's awesome. Or like I like, it's kind of this mix of I'm just going with the flow, as well as I don't know what to create yet, but I have an idea. Kind of thing. So it's like a mix of two things at once. And something I also was bringing up with GoSee was how a lot of the platform does appeal to one type of person, when truthfully it shouldn't. It should probably be appealing to a more diverse audience and a more diverse set of creators. And being somebody who doesn't fit exactly what a lot of these social media platforms sit towards, because that's another thing. It's not just TikTok. It is multiple social media platforms. And they cater to this one ideal kind of creator. And I think anybody and anyone who has ever created anything on a platform that doesn't fit that kind of marketing gets kind of shoved to the side a bit unless something is very unique and the algorithm likes you. And I say this not just in the metaphorical way, but in the way of YouTube and TikTok and all that kind of stuff. And it gets frustrating because all you're trying to do is you're just trying to be like anybody else. You're creating whatever content you can. You're trying to be creative. And it's also creating this idea of that you have to be a machine pumping out a ton of things at once. And truth be told, you don't. You don't have to be pumping out everything. That is also why, as I'm announcing that I'm creating projects for you guys, it's me going, hey, I'm creating stuff for you. It's not out yet, but I'm letting you know I'm working on something. And it's more out of both not only letting you guys know, but just kind of like this pleasure of, hey, look, I like that I'm here with you, being present as a creator as I try to be. And I feel like sometimes you get lost when you do that kind of stuff. But also it opens this real door into what else am I going to create past that project. So it's kind of this bigger, not only having your creative juices flowing, but also having what you need already there in your own head. Like, what do you need to create for yourself? Or what would you like to create for yourself? Because that's another thing. It's a question. It's more of, am I creating stuff that I would have wanted to see too? Because that is sometimes people's purpose on content creation. Like, they create things that they wish they would have seen when they were a child or wish they had, while others create content sometimes more for the fun of it. And I think I kind of mix into both the intermingling of creating stuff I wanted to see as a child, but also creating stuff that I willingly, let's get you, food inspector, sorry, but things that I also was very willing to watch as well as believe in. I think creating content has made me more confident in certain areas. I think it's helped that I also took a bit of public speaking through some of my college, so I got very lucky in that way. And I got very lucky because the professor I had, he was not a public speaking major or communications major. He ended up actually being an English major who eventually taught public speaking. And that was actually very fun when I learned that. I was like, he's a very awesome dude. An older gentleman, to say the least, but he's awesome. And despite dropping out of college, because I also brought up that I'm a college dropout, getting into creative worlds like this is very, not just tiring, because sometimes it is tiring. It gets emotionally draining. It gets physically draining sometimes if you're really exerting so much energy out there for people. But I also think it's there's beauty and there's pleasure in it as well. There's beauty and pleasure, but there's also so much destruction that is awaiting. Fuck. I completely burned his cupcakes. That is not good. Oh my lord. Okay, perfect. Once I'm on this one, I should get some time to check it. But that's why my frosting ain't pretty. It ain't pretty. Okay. But yeah, no. But content creation in itself is it's not difficult. I'm not being like, oh my god, it's hard for me, poo. I think it's more like it's easy in a sense of you can honestly create anything, and if someone watches and you get a view or a like, that's the greatest pleasure of it all. But it's also this hit or miss thing. And I think that's what a lot of people don't tend to say very often. It's hit or miss. So it all depends. So you're never 100% sure if your video is going to pop off or if it's going to be what you expected it to be. Especially because I think people expect to mimic other creators. And I think one of the coolest people in the world who has kind of gotten real about it. And I don't say this enough, but Tommy in it, he made a new channel just called Tom. And don't get me wrong, this man has like, I'm assuming like 5 other channels besides his main Tommy in it, Tommy out it, Tom Simons, and the Sorry Boys. Okay? But besides that collection of things, he got real about what it means to create content in his Tom channel. And I like that it wasn't something that was this automatic like idea of him. It was like this very calming, very, very down to earth kind of thing. And it was insane because I remember I watched that and not just watched it, but I first already had an expectation of them because of their branding. And that's another thing. Because when you create content, there's branding, but I'll get into that once I get past this point. But basically, Tom was getting real. And he was talking about how content creation, how he actually struggled at 16, and how one of his biggest things was he didn't know what to create, or he didn't know how people would interpret his creation of content. So he would mock not even mock, but he would kind of copycat create in a way, but not in a way. Like he would change it up a little just for him and his own desires, as well as watch what other people were doing and also hop on the trend, to say the least. Like that's another thing. And I put that first before the Oreos. I hope I get the food inspector. Ugh. But basically, he talked about it in a way that got very honest. And I like that he even said at 19, I still kind of don't know what I'm doing with my content. Are you serious? Frickin' fuck you, food inspector. You like it when I'm on the phone, but not on the fucking laptop? I'm mad. I am so mad. But basically, there we go. See, this is what I was talking about. Like, I was getting all the stuff for Easter, too. I just need to get the wallpaper, and then we're good. No, I'm not going to play Judge's Burger Match, because I am pissed that we even have to have that. Whew. Sorry. I'm just, like, getting mad over a cupcake game. But yeah, basically, no, I don't have enough. That sucks. That really sucks. I don't have enough. Alright, and then lobby, I can just do ba. I just keep saying ba, even though I'm not supposed to. Alright, Easter. Perfect. Easter. I'm going to move these 2 things just to put this in there. I think I bought a poster, and that's what did it, too. Okay, so we have, this here. There we go. We have the gum. We have this. Yep, Easter. Even though in the real world, actually, we're kind of at the right place, except sort of not. I don't know how to put it. Backdrop. I know I didn't unlock anything special, so I'm just going to quickly make it like this, sort of. Just so we can get something out of the way so that next time we can get the background. Now celebrating Easter. Mandy! I'm not going to lie, she looks like a, basic Karen. Battenberry cake. Or, not Battenberry, Battenberg. What the hell? Oh yeah, back to my point. But basically Tom was getting real about it and just basically talking about how even now as a content creator, he still kind of doesn't know what he wants to make for his audience half the time, and how he kind of falls into not just the Minecraft stuff, but that he wants to do more than that. And something I also brought up yesterday was how basically like even when I was first creating content, I kind of already got put into this box with my fandom about just everything involving Sandersides. And realistically, it's not that I didn't want to continue doing that. It was just more like a very not unsteady road, but it just was very different for me. Because it was like, okay, I have this video that I promoted really well, and it has 230 something views. Awesome. But I also broke a promise, both in creating the video, and continuing on, whereas now I'm trying to regain that promise by creating a new video, something a little more deep and in thought. But I also ended up kind of just going through, not just through a lot during that time. Like I said, I was still kind of questioning if I was doing it for the right reasons, and for reasons that were, not selfish or greedy. So it was kind of like that. But it was kind of just very difficult because afterwards, and I say this as I basically looked onto one of the platforms I promoted on, and I realized I got put into this box of everyone wants me to create this one kind of thing and nothing else. And truth be told, not all creators want to fall into that. Nobody wants to truly be stuck in a box where they have to be creating videos or only getting popularity in videos that were made to be a certain way, And I think that's also what made me step away from content for so long, because it was kind of this thing of they expect me to create this kind of content and only that. And my Tumblr, even though I have one, it's very old, and it shows a picture of me with my hair dyed a certain color that, don't get me wrong, I've dyed my hair before. I just would never do it again. It was a good experience when it happened, but it was not a choice I'd make again. But on my Tumblr, I basically, said, hey, I'm trying to make other content creation besides being a Sandersides fandom person. It's I am more than just that. As a creator, I make more than that. And I would like to be seen as a proper content creator who's not just put into this box of, oh, Sandersides content creation, awesome. It's no, I make more than just that. Yeah, I love the fandom. Yeah, I love creating content involved with that community, but it's not just me that's in that. Other people who have done content have also fallen into that rabbit hole after they have certain videos blow up and stuff like that. And Natalia Taylor, I'm quoting her more in the sense of that was her thing with her videos. She left YouTube for a bit because she wasn't having fun with creating content anymore, especially because she got put into a very similar situation where she was put into a box about creating videos about modeling, zodiac signs, and other drama that, she was it wasn't healthy for me, and I stepped back for a bit because of that. And I'm in my head going, well, that makes sense, yeah. You wouldn't want to be put in a box. And even now, I still get that problem as a creator. And I think I'm not blaming it on the video. I think I'm just kind of putting it in a sense of I was just making a video about something niche that I really liked. And already I was put into something that wasn't toxic, but something that people expected from me a lot more. They were all super hey, this is what I want you to make. I don't want to see other videos about this. And it pops up on my TikTok feed as well. And truth be told, I don't want to be subjectified to just being a Sandersides content creator. It is one of those where I have more diversity. I have more to bring out. And if that's not what you're here for, I don't know what is, because creators grow. Creators are meant to outshine in some sense of what they first started with. And as a person who is just human, and I'm not just talking as a creator, but as somebody who's human and who has created things, it's not just me saying it's annoying that we're put into this pedestal and this box of, oh, but we want you to just create this. It's other creators have spoken out about it. And it makes you upset because it's kind of like, but I just made this, and even if it did do well, what else is there? And I think that's what makes other creators also doubt themselves too, or makes them go, oh, but this is let me try something different so I don't have to worry about it. And they see if it fails or succeeds. And I say this because I'm referencing more than just small creators, like it also happens to bigger people in the creative world. So it's more this pleasure and joy, as well as this like unspoken thing of, well, what if it does this? And I think every creator fears that they're going to have that one project that makes everything flop. And even I am scared that I'm going to have a lot of flops and that things are not going to go very well. And just looking at it like that has made me so not just real about it, but it made me look at it in a more realistic way of, hey, you're not the only one struggling. Other people go through very similar, if not the same thing. And I just about like not had it, but I was just at a point where I was like, that makes sense because it's not just me. It's not a one person thing. It's a multitude of people deal with it on a daily basis as a creator. And I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful that I made a friend already in creating something and somebody who was willing to work with me, of all people, too. And like I said, I was very nervous talking to Ghosty because this is our first time collaborating together as people. But it wasn't his first time collaborating with anyone. And for me, it was the first time I was collaborating with someone. So I was just so anxious about it. Like, I had been talking about it the day before, and I was like, I'm so nervous. Like, what if, if stream goes, sideways? What if it does this? And the person I was talking to, they were like, what are you talking about? Everything's going to be fine. Don't catastrophize it. And don't get me wrong, I have anxiety. I catastrophize a lot of things. But he was right in that sense. I shouldn't have been catastrophizing it. Especially because it turned out a lot better than I expected. And it was wonderful. And I'm grateful that Ghosty even agreed that, to even want to collaborate again. That was a very good blessing in disguise. I wasn't expecting that. And, it's amazing what people can not just do, but say to make you go, wow, this is the greatest thing ever, or this is the worst thing ever. You never know. So I'm just kind of like, what the wowza? Oh gosh, alright. And, it gets real like that. So we're gonna do the Chili Works thing, and then I'll be right back. Because, okay, ooh. I've done this before too, so. Nope. Crud. Alright. So, hold on a second, guys. I will be right back. As I am going to. Oh my goodness. I will be right back. I am going to just quickly. I'm going to do something real quick, okay? Okay. Sorry. I just had to quickly do something because I was like, ooh, I felt like I was dying. But let's go back to Chili Works. But yeah, basically, I was so nervous because I never thought I would not only collab with someone, but collab with someone who was actually so grateful and so precious in everything that they did and what they do as a creator themselves, as a person. It was just honestly an amazing opportunity. All right, and then there we go. Woo! Onion gum. Awesome. Honestly, I don't get why this universe even is like, oh yeah, onions. I'm like, why? Why do these people like weird flavor combinations? Like, this is for Easter, but I'm gonna buy the yellow lobby because I think all that blue is gonna is gonna clash together way too much. So it's just terrible. There, actually, that looks so good. What the heck? Okay, now that we're all set up for Easter with all our Easter decor, let's try and save up for the other holidays. But yeah, basically, jelly beans. But yeah, basically my whole thing was it just gets very challenging when you're put into a box that you don't want to be in. So, yeah. And honestly, I'm grateful that, like I said, I'm just grateful for the fact that I even got to collaborate with someone so early on with a smaller following and and with a person who is very kind and very open to hearing things. And you don't get that a lot. And I'm very grateful, especially because it's also harder to find people who are smaller streamers on this platform. Like, it's really hard. And, and sometimes certain smaller streamers don't want to collaborate with certain people. And I'm like, why? Did they cause you any harm? Is there anything terrible about this person that we should know about? Like, things like that. And personally, it just makes me feel not weird, but it's kind of saddening when you get people who don't willingly collaborate with you and or associate with you in a sense that you're not less than them, but in a sense of they just don't want to collaborate with you for whatever stupid odd reason. And mind you, I think every creator has been there. Like, we're like, okay, okay, cool, whatever. And then some people decide to go either the mature route and and are like, hey, I wanted to collab with this person, didn't go through, but you know what, there's other people in the world, there's like plenty of other people, and oh well, that's just how it went. And I'm grateful that there are people out there who are willing to see things that way, but I also think some people take it out on them and lash out on the internet. And that's when I feel like it's like, okay, why are you doing that? It's like, is it going to benefit you if you lash out at a person who basically just told you, no, I don't want to collaborate? It's going to do you nothing. There's no justice to it. And I'm not coming from a place of spirituality. I feel like sometimes I am, but this is not one of those. This is coming from being very wise and learning not to be this way on the internet. And that's another thing. I didn't want to come onto the internet being this kid who wasn't mature enough to understand that certain things just have to go in ways that you may or may not anticipate. And it is frustrating when you have so many changes like that. But at the same time, it's, once again, kind of just being like, hey, look, this is just something that happens. It happens all the time. It's not a first. So, yeah, just, take your time, cool off, do what you need to do. But don't be posting it on the internet and being an asshole to everyone. Like, truthfully speaking. So it's kind of just a lot of people just kind of not hopping in and being like, yeah, because the internet gets like that too. Like, you get a lot of people who will create something, put on a facade, and realistically in real life, they're just fucking assholes who are there for their selfish reasons. And like I was saying earlier, it's why I kind of stepped away from it, because I'm like, am I doing this for selfish reasons, or am I doing this because I actually like to do it? And I think a lot of people who are going to create anything should know, do this because you actually like it, not because you feel like you need to for any desperation. And it gets that way. It gets that way, and people are like that. And it's hard. It is very hard not to see that. And, damn it. As somebody who has gone through seeing people who have been both there for the reasons that they want to be there and reasons for financial gain, it will eat at you. It will eat at you, the guilt. And if it doesn't, I don't know what the hell you are, except maybe a sociopath. But there's, one, always judgment, and two, you're going to be put onto a pedestal. That's another thing. When you enter this sort of work, you're on a pedestal already. You're already put down onto something, and if your audience is slowly growing, you kind of not only have to establish yourself as a person and as a brand, but as somebody who, but just as somebody that you are. It's like, be yourself. And it sucks when you grew up with this idea that you can't be yourself. And I'm saying this from personal experience. Like, I grew up in a very weird kind of situation where I was basically expected to act like neurotypical people when I wasn't neurotypical. I was expected to be very, like, normal. And it didn't help that a lot of my own overstimulation issues, and I kind of touched into this a little bit yesterday, but I didn't get as in depth as I'm getting now. Depth. But basically, I was expected to act normal in sense of, oh, but why does she have an issue every time she plays a little too much, or doesn't speak that much when she's spoken to by people? And like I said, when you grow up into that expectation, you're kind of masking your entire life, and it becomes very difficult. And I think the only reason I'm touching on this the way I am, happy 1 hour, guys, is basically because it's a weird similarity on the internet. It's like, once you've established that you create certain things, everyone expects you to keep with that, or to at least expand on that more. And personally, I think if you're going to create anything, do what you can and do what you think you're going to excel in. And yeah, sometimes you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to make certain decisions that you thought were smart at first, because everyone makes mistakes. There's no avoiding it. But you're also going to realize that what you did on the internet, whether you truly did it because you liked it or not, is something that is very valuable in creating anything. And I won't lie and say that there isn't anything else to do. There are things you can do outside of the internet if you're not interested in it. But I think a lot of people forget that there is so much more than just being on the internet to be something or to be somebody. And I think we all want to be somebody to someone. And I just thought of a song. But it's realistically a lot more than what other people expect. Like, if you know you don't want to do something where you're so publicly seen, then do something that you know, or not publicly seen, but publicly recognized. There we go, that's the right word. Then you can honestly do what you want with that. Because at the end of the day, something people do not give you the feeling of, or do not let you know, is you are in control of everything you do. And you are in control of what becomes manifested or what becomes put into anything that you are making at all. And realistically speaking, that also means you do not have to conform to half this crap that people tell you. And I think that's why doing creation and speaking out and being like, hey, look, first of all, I'm just a simple creator. And two, I should be respected in the fact that the choices I make and what I want to make for my audience, especially, even though none of you have asked me for some of this stuff, and I'm just making it based off of how I feel, and also based off of how I believe it's going to go, and also with consent of friends and other technical things aside. It's this thing of, I control what I create, I control what I do, and based off of what I like to do and make for people right now should be the biggest thing that matters. And should be something that, not only gets accounted for, but gets put into the realistic ability of people. Like, for example, I know I'm not a perfect human being, and I curse like a fucking sailor, but none of you have complained about that, have you? No. And whatever I post on my socials that are linked, mind you, in the chat for you guys, I go around and I do what I can. And even playing this cupcake game and what I titled this stream aligned in the sense that I am talking to you guys about all the good news I had and everything that should be coming along, both in the sense of I'm doing this both for you guys as an audience, but I'm doing this also because I like to create what I'm creating, and I like the ideas I'm having, and I want to share that with you guys in the world. And, you know, it's so much more than what I would have anticipated for. Like, this in itself, just having even the smallest of people, even where I go, and if this even goes further than that, like under the skin and gets bigger, and I really hope it does, I like that the way things are going right now is very much like I can do what I want to do. And there's no restrictions. But that also means I know that I can create what I want to create. And I can say anything. But with a very huge understanding that I have to be, not even just have to be, but that you have to understand that anything and everything at some point in time will become very acceptable or very unacceptable on the internet. And I think that's what I liked the most about doing this in the beginning, because I'm like, okay, I know what I have to look out for and avoid, but I also know what I have to keep in mind and keep in just check and stuff, because there are other content creators out there who get not only the biggest shit in the world, but get the biggest beef and get the biggest, like, anything and everything because they're doing something or they're saying something as simple as a sentence that maybe your mom or dad would say or somebody else. And it doesn't always mean it's right or wrong. And it doesn't always mean it's as simple as, oh, but I can just cancel them. Like, no. And also, I think it gets very scary when your content creation is either used to be used in some form of slander or in some form of hurt and pain. And mind you, it shouldn't be that way at all. And second, I also think that realistically, not only can words be used against you, I think that's the biggest one in content creation, but that regardless of what you do, you're still in danger in some sense too. And I think that's the scariest half about streaming. It's streamers get the shit end of the stick in content creation half the time. They usually are not respected due to the fact that they are creating something live for people. And not just that, but also people do not treat them as human beings. Like, they get put onto not only an unrealistic pedestal, but they also get put into this idea that the only reason their content even continues to be popular, especially as I was bringing up earlier, that you like feeling like it was being put into a box, it's you're put onto the box of, oh, but they're going to keep doing this kind of creation, and that's all they're known for. When truth be told, what if they didn't want to stay in that? I think that's also why actors or people who have done acting have even said, this is why I stepped away. I didn't feel like it was my passion. I didn't feel like I wanted to do this. Especially actors who have even returned said, I went to school for a bit to kind of step away from this and reflect on myself and see if I wanted to continue. And difference with that is the danger of being a streamer that I think is scary to me is that people make SWAT calls on that. But people don't address that enough that actors get something very similar. Like, they get police calls sometimes of things that didn't actually happen or things that aren't occurring to the person who reported them in. Like, at all. And it's scary regardless. But streamers, the reason I bring up that we're at the shit end of the stick in this is that it's more out of nobody takes us seriously because we stream our games or we stream our voice or things as simple as just doing something we like to do in front of a large group of people, and regardless of our audience size, we'll do certain streams based off of what's being requested, kind of like anybody who does YouTube, except kind of not seen in that way. As we are starting to get recognized, don't get me wrong, there are other streamers who are getting recognized and brought to VidCon and being invited out there as guests. It's very wonderful, but it's also very terrifying because nobody's taking it seriously. And I wish people did. Mainly for the reason of, I would rather you take this person seriously because they're making creative things and doing stuff for an audience and for you guys, rather than someone who's going to intend harm on these kinds of people. And it is still terrifying living in a world where people are not going to respect that. People are also going to cross boundaries. And I even brought this up in not just my collaboration yesterday, but I brought up in an earlier VOD on my YouTube channel, if you guys want to check that out. And the VOD is called Getting Real About the Toxicity of the Internet. And in that VOD, I start talking about how people will cross the boundaries to a point where it is very uncomfortable. It is very unsafe. It makes people squirm in a way that is not appropriate. Like, I wouldn't want someone who doesn't want their identity exposed to have their identity exposed. I don't think anybody would like their address exposed. And the fact that there are people out there who will take time out of their day to find the address of somebody that they watch on the internet not only scares the ever-living crap out of me, but it disgusts me that that's even a thing. And it's crazy. It just is. And the fact that nobody takes a streamer seriously in anything that they say anymore is, first off, unfortunately, it's not new, which is upsetting even more. But second, it's seen as just disrespectful regardless. And what's worse is actors go through that every day. Sorry, oh my god. Oh, he's a silver. Awesome. Ah, damn it, I burned it. Alright. And that's this one with the blue. Okay. But, actors go through that every day. We constantly are asking them for things that aren't really there. It's a very parasocial relationship. It's more like how you and I right now, how I'm creating something, you're watching it, and I'm making this more for anybody's entertainment. Anybody can walk into this chat room or walk into this live stream and tell me that I'm the worst content creator in the world. But I also can get someone who comes in here and says, hey, what you're creating has made my day. And outside of content creation, you also can deal with people who do the same thing. You also have friends and family out there who probably look at you in some sense and go, they made my day. They make me smile. I'm glad to wake up and see this person every morning just living their life. And the fact that people who create content, even me, as I'm saying it, there is nobody gives credit enough to the fact that these people are creating something. And that this is just all one parasocial relationship that we have created with our audience time and time and time again to ensure that not only a sense of job security and something we find very fun and entertaining for ourselves, but something that we are creating can honestly be ripped away from us so quickly. And it's difficult. It's very difficult to go through something like that. And at the end of the day, we're still people. We're still people. That's the truth. We're all still people. And we all still have feelings. And we all still have all these other different judgments and mentalities and biases and all these other fallacies too. And whoever said that the reason that I existed was just for the sole purpose of you? Nobody. But at the same time, that kind of puts into this perspective of whoever said that nobody could do this. No one. And I don't like when people go, oh, but I don't think I can do this. I don't think it's that good. And actually something I was saying to Ghosty earlier was something that involved bringing up the Discord and how I praised him for it. And he goes, oh, don't praise me that much. It's not that good. And I told him, I was like, no, I like it. I like the way it's set up. And don't discredit yourself. It's still great, regardless of what you think. It's still great. Like, I like that he even has a Discord channel just for you guys, even with his smaller audience. I like that. It's great, and it's beautiful, and it's out there. Oh, F you, Quinn. You don't like any of my shit. Sorry. But to be real, that's just something that is just what we all expect and what we all see. And not only that, it's very difficult to not be put into this pedestal or roadmap of all that. You know? So, oh, well, this is very... Oh, oops. I was not supposed to go up. Okay, let's see what I can do. So I can go whoop, boop, 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 boop. Oh God. Boop, 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 boop. Oh my gosh, this minigame is like making me stop talking to you guys. I'm so sorry. So sorry, chat. Oh God. Ooh. It's like, why are my nostrils whispering to me? Not like that, but like, you get my point. How do you do that? No. How am I supposed to do that and not hit here? And that's why I don't play the slider game. But it's kind of just very difficult to not only do that, but it's just very difficult to just talk to anybody. And gosh, and just go through not nothing, but just everything at once. And it's just very, very different. And I think just because you're able to do something doesn't mean you can't do anything. Now, I'm going to quickly not only just look for more upgrades. Well, I can see if we can afford any. No, we can't. All right. So I'm going to quit the cupcake game here. I'm going to close out of that tab. And I'm going to see if we can raid somebody. I know the stream is not as long as yesterday's. I'm still grateful for it, though. Let's see who we raid. Oh, we can raid my lovely friend, Ross Cucumber. So let's do that. And And I really hope you guys have a wonderful, beautiful time. I'm very grateful that you were able to see me just stream today, even if it wasn't for as long as it was yesterday. Yesterday was great. I loved collaborating with Ghosty Boy. I do hope that in the future we will not only get more collaborations, but we will hopefully be able to play more. I'm still in the middle of building my computer. Like I said, I am also still creating a Discord and a website ARG and so many other things. And honestly, I am so happy that there is just one or two of you guys watching this stream. And like I said, besides playing the dreaded cupcake game, I brought up my updates. Out I brought out everything I could, and I am so excited for the future. I am hoping that you guys are willing to be with me as I, not only trek on this journey, but go and do what I can do with life. So, with that, I hope you all have a wonderful, beautiful day. God bless you all. I'll see you soon.